Hey everyone, welcome back to my most recent episode of the Corbin Report. I'll be talking about NFL, MLS, MLB, and the rankings for NFL before this Thursday night game, even though it already happened. And yeah, so I'll let you know. Now, starting off, we're going to go with the LA Galaxy staying in MLS. They made the playoffs after coming back from 1-0. This was when they played the Houston Dynamo in the last game of the regular season. When I checked the score, they were losing to Houston, who are the second to worst team in the Western Conference. Now in the postseason, the Galaxy will face the Nashville Soccer Club. I checked on Google and went to standings, then clicked on Nashville Soccer Club, and noticed they tied LA, and they lost to LA, who beat them, obviously. This being said, the Galaxy should be able to defeat them. More so, they are the bigger seed by 1. Now, here's what's interesting. This is the story for MLB. Seattle Mariners advance to the next round of the playoffs. This is their journey. They're currently in the second round. They made the playoffs. Then they advanced to the second round. In the second round, they came back, in the first to advance, they came back from 8-1 deficit in the wild card game to win to face the Astros in the second round. Then in the second round against the Astros, they lost game 1 to them. They didn't get blown out. Houston hit a walk-off home run. And then in game 2, they lost by 2. Now today, before I do that, you know about that. If you didn't know, this series is really best of 5, not 3, like the wild card. They, right now, are currently playing in the third game, which is a win or go home for them. This is a little bit of their journey of the to the playoffs and in the playoffs. Alright, now to the NFL. Let's start with the New England Patriots. So, talking about quarterback, I wrote defense, but I don't think I mentioned anything about their defense, except what I can say is, in their last game, their defense did shut out their opponent and held them to 0 points, nada. New England won with their third-string quarterback against the Detroit Lions. His name is Bailey Zapp. Starter Mac Jones still out with ankle injury, maybe? Brian Hoyer is not starting. Bailey Zapp is. New England beat Detroit in a blowout. I didn't get to see the game, but they won, like I said, with Zapp, their third stringer. Mac Jones is still recovering, according to Nest.com, hence why he didn't play against Detroit. Then, when they faced the Packers the week before, Hoyer started, and according to Boston.com, he suffered a concussion, and Zapp relieved him, and they still almost defeated the Green Bay Packers. Zapp started against Detroit, and they won in a shutout. Now against the Browns, is it possible he can still start? Or is Mac going to make a return? Who knows? Speaking of those two teams, let's go to the Lions. They have the best scoring offense. I didn't research this. I just heard it when watching games. But their record isn't great. Against New England, St. Brown was active, according to Athletics. They did not look like themselves. And for the highest scoring offense in the league, they didn't put anything up. Either the Lions offense just had a off day, or the Patriots defense is actually doing better than they were earlier in the first few games. Now, going to the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's talk about their offensive line. They only have one returning starter this year. I looked through multiple articles on Google. Jonah Williams is their returning starter. When watching the game earlier this season, I heard an announcer say the Bengals only have one starter returning on offensive line. Him. The rest are new. Cincy should have at least beat the Ravens and the Cowboys. Both of those games, they lost on a game-winning field goal. We can play the blame game, however, it is a team effort. It's not what happens at the beginning, middle, or end. It's more about what happens during the game. They have come back to be able to win, but seems like they can't close out the game. Now this one. The only undefeated team left in the league. The Philadelphia Eagles. They have a plethora of running backs. They have their core receiver tight end group. If you didn't know, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I believe Dallas Goedert is on there. Some running backs, you have Kenneth Gainwell, Miles Sanders, just to name some. Additionally, their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, not only can pass the ball, he can run. You don't know who is running, and when passing, you don't know which receiver he is throwing to. Hurts this season has a total of 10 touchdowns, 4 pass, and 6 rush. His completion percentage is 67.9. He's thrown for 1,359 yards, completed 108 passes out of 159 attempts. He's at least had one rushing or passing touchdown in each game. There are some games where he didn't have either rushing or passing. This is Pro Football Reference, NFL.com. Now going to a team staying in NFC that is, to me, surprising. The Minnesota Vikings. Week after week, they are proving me wrong. Their offense they have, and it seems like they might have a defense, or some of the same, and they're actually doing good this year. They just beat the Bears this last weekend. I believe they came back, if I'm not mistaken. Quarterback Kirk Cousins has thrown for 1,327 yards, completion percentage of 66.2. Sorry. He's attempted 198 passes, completed 131. He has 8 touchdowns. On their defense, they do have Harrison Smith, Patrick Peterson, Zadarius Smith, Eric Hendricks, and Danielle Hunter. Peterson came to the Vikings in 2021 from the Arizona Cardinals, according to MinnesotaVikings.com, NFL.com, Pro Football Reference. These defense players are some of the prominent people in the NFL. As a defense, they have 7 sacks and 3 interceptions. Let's not forget they have Dalvin Cook and Alexander Mattison. Found this on Vikings.com. I also added up the tackles that the defense has made, and I got, as a team, they have 300 tackles on the season. It's a lot of NFC in this one, so let's see. I'm just going to do this. And then after this one, we'll go to the AFC. Be a little short AFC, though. Alright, so the Falcons are also doing good. They have been winning games on and off. Their quarterback, Marcus Mariota, has completed 71 out of 123 passes for a completion percentage of 57.7 and thrown for 926 yards. Atlanta should be 5-0 with the Eagles. I know you may not agree with me, but if you look at their 3 losses, they were by 6 points or less. They lost to the Saints by 1 point, then the Rams by 4, then the Bucks by 6. This game on the news for one play was controversial, which could have helped them have a chance to win. Mariota hasn't thrown for much yards, but the Falcons, despite the record, aren't doing horrible. Atlanta and Minnesota, wouldn't say impressing is the proper word, or surprising, but for lack of better words, they have surprised me. Excuse me. Alright, now let's go into the AFC. Talk about that. I'll talk about this recent Monday Night Football game. And I'll let you know about the rankings, which I have the rankings I finished. And I am not including this Thursday night game that is for the next week in my next episode. Alright. In the AFC, specifically the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills are one of the top teams in the league overall. They keep winning. They have defense and Josh Allen, and the offense keep doing their thing. Their only loss came from the Dolphins. Buffalo, they have beat a good team and some decent teams. The team they lost to in Miami, they should have won. And now Miami, I believe they're on their third-string quarterback, possibly. Buffalo just finished their last game, and they did demolish the Steelers, which they should have beat. And then we'll see how they do this coming week. They did beat the Rams. They beat the Ravens. So they have been getting their job done. And with some of the same people from last season. Alright, now on to Monday Night Football from this past Monday Night Football, when the Raiders and Chiefs took each other on. The Raiders were looking good. They had the lead. And then I stopped watching the game. When I came back, a friend told me what had happened. And right now, I don't know what to say. I found out the Chiefs came back, were up by 1. The Raiders scored. Instead of kicking the field goal to send the game to overtime, they decided to go for 2 and ended up losing by 1, 30-29. Shows you how they were hungry and wanted to win. However, they probably could have won in overtime. You never know. Just Las Vegas was doing fine offensively, and they couldn't execute for the win with a 2-point conversion. Most of Las Vegas wins, they have not been able to execute. For example, they should have beat the LA Chargers, Arizona Cardinals, and Tennessee Titans. All close games they were in. Also, the Kansas City Chiefs, their most recent game, they should have defeated them too. So yeah, that's them. And now let's see the rankings and what I did for this week. Because I don't know if I know I put on YouTube maybe 2 weeks ago, but I only did an episode last week. So I have the rankings for this week and last week and the spots they were. And so yeah, I'll let you know. So here are my rankings for the week of October 9th. Alright. Oh, just to let you know too, when I looked at this, the Steelers weren't there. I added them in a spot which changed this round. My last episode, I don't know where I put them, if I changed it or not. So my rankings may seem different on different ones. Just a little disclaimer to let you know. And so, different than what I say here maybe. The week before. This week is complete, and this is what I have as a final. So, what I'll do is I'll start down with number 32 and I'll go up. That way you'll find out last who I have at the top. So who I have at the very last team, the worst team in the league right now, which to me is surprising because I had them as one of the top teams in the beginning. I didn't think they would go down this far. I have the Las Vegas Raiders, and they are down 5 spots from the previous week. At 31, stay the same. I have they call them Washington Commanders. I believe they're still the Washington Redskins, and they're still at 31. At 30, I have the Jaguars, who move up 2 spots. At 29, staying the same, the Denver Broncos. At 28 are the Carolina Panthers, and they move down 6 spots. Now this team has moved down in double-digit spots a lot, like 10 plus, down 17 spots. At number 27, I have the Miami Dolphins. At 26, I have the Detroit Lions moving down 3 spots. At 25, the Indianapolis Colts, who have moved up 5 spots. At 24, I have the Steelers, who moved up 2 spots. At 23, I have the Packers. They moved down 4 spots. At 22, Moving down one spot are the Seattle Seahawks. They did lose a close game against the Saints recently. At 21, down one spot, the Atlanta Falcons. Up 8 spots to number 20, and getting their first win this past week, the Houston Texans. Now up 19, up 6 spots, I have the Chicago Bears. Up 6 spots to 18, I have the New England Patriots. At number 17, to end the first half, or the last half, however you want to look at it, up 1 spot are the New York Jets. So those are 17 to 32, going from 32 to 17. Apologize for my thumb in the way those times. Now, here are the last 1 through 16. Alright, going down 9 spots, I have the Cleveland Browns at 16. At 15, in the same division, going down 6 spots, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. At 14, moving up 1 spot, I have the New York Giants, who defeated the Green Bay Packers in London. Down 1 spot at 13, the Arizona Cardinals. 12, I didn't write this, but I guess you could say they're a surprising team to me. That's going down 4 spots are the San Francisco 49ers. Up 6 spots are the Los Angeles Chargers. They are at 11, Niners at 12, Cardinals at 13, if you didn't hear. At 10, up 6 spots, I have the New Orleans Saints. That's starting off my top 10. Now going to 9, going up 5 spots, I have the Tennessee Titans. Down 6 spots at 8, I have the Chiefs. Up 6 spots at 7, I have the Baltimore Ravens. And number 6, staying the same, I have the Minnesota Vikings. Now going in to the top 5, going down 2 spots after losing to the Cowboys, which actually kind of shocked me, kind of didn't, because the Cowboys' backup quarterback Cooper Rush has been having good chemistry with his team so far. I have the Rams down 2 spots at 5. Speaking of Cowboys, I have them up 7 spots at number 4. Now in the top 3, up 2 spots, I have the Buccaneers. Now onto the last 2 spots. Some may not agree with me, some may. But again, these are my rankings and it's all good. At number 2, the only undefeated team left, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. And at number 1 for this past week, I have the Buffalo Bills. And those are my rankings for the week of October 9th. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment on social media, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. If you want to go through the Anchor app, let me know if you have any questions, comments. Also, thanks for listening, and talk to you next time.